Does anyone have a question?
Sure, I have a question, Bob Sink.
This one,
At you at the retreats, you do hands-on work.
yes.
How is there a difference as far as how energy moves uh, from working from afar or and hands-on work? Is it the same energy?
It's the same energy, except intensified probably by 1,000. I mean, when people leave those retreats, they really have mostly have gone through a very serious transformation inside themselves because of the intensity of having 3 classes a day, doing that hands-on. I mean, hands are really basically healing instruments. And when the energy, the Shakti, is transmitted that way, it is direct transmission into somebody's chakra system. And the energy is really powerful. And if you do that 3 times a day for 2 days, my God, what happens to people, I mean, to me, it's glorious to see how people, the best part of it, is really when people at the end of the retreat, when I look in people and there's just literally a twinkle in their eye, there's a glow coming out of them. It's like they've shaken off, a lifetime of tension, completely renewed themselves. So it must be more powerful. I mean, I don't know. That's the result of doing a weekend like that. So yes, it's more powerful. Why is more powerful? I don't know. I don't have answers to those kind of questions. But it is. And only way I know that it is what sees what happens to me and what happens to people that attend those retreats. And it's a kind of blessing to God that we can have them. And I will tell you frankly, it's very hard work to go through a weekend like that. It doesn't get any easier. I'm getting older. These things don't get easier. But it's worth doing because of the transformation that takes place in myself and everyone that attends. Shouldn't say everyone that attends, but most people that attend go through profound inner transformations. So the energy must be stronger, I mean, I remember years ago, I would call Rudy and talk to him for some time on the telephone, and his energy was strong. And then I remember went to New York. I came off an airplane at LaGuardia Airport. He was waiting for me. And his presence was so powerful that I could not stop looking at his head. The transformation, the changes that had happened into him was so powerful. And it's the same way with this. my life, the energy that comes through me now is very different than it was even a year ago. And when people are in the presence of that kind of energy, it transforms them. It really helps them to change and grow. Otherwise, why do that? It's just, it's very hard work and very intense work for a weekend. So yes, I think there is a big difference. Even the classes I have here on Saturday, the energy is stronger for some reason than the classes online. I wish I could have all of you in class, but people from Miami and Portland and Oregon and upstate New York and Colorado. And I mean, my God, everywhere I look, somebody is from a different state in the United States. And I can't do this. Is the best I can do to bring everybody together. Does anyone else have a question?
Stuart, I have another question.
Good.
I've noticed in myself after attending a previous retreat that the energy was very strong, but I would feel it slowly dissipate as the weeks go by. And there's a part of me that thinks I'm doing something wrong.
You're not doing anything wrong. Look, you put gasoline in a car and drive it, and the gasoline is the same way. You take this Shakti and put it in people, then there has to be that continuum of doing the work after you leave. Not expecting this to be the final, but doing the work after you leave. That really is just as important as going to a retreat. The sustaining of this inner work. And that requires a commitment to sit down every day and work in depth on oneself. And you're not going to sustain 100% of the energy, but you will sustain a good amount of it. So it's after the retreat that's just as important as the retreat. When the car starts running out of gasoline, you better fill it up again. It's going to stop driving. It's the same thing with this meditation. Every one of these classes is like a pit stop. Coming to get fuel, Shakti, so that the energy can continue to grow inside yourself. So yes, it's a problem, I mean, I meet people all the time that have attended seminars and retreats and this, and after it's over, they run from this one to the next one to the other, another one, and all kinds of different type of new age type work. But the whole purpose of this is to sustain the work between classes. Sit down every day, work on yourself. Open. It might not be as powerful, but open to it. And try to sustain whatever you get at a retreat in these meditation classes. I mean, I think that's one's responsibility to God, If one wants to have a spiritual life, they have to do what is essential to make it happen. And not just take it for granted. I mean, I send out for this class, I send out 59 invitations, and there are 21 people here. I mean, that to me is extraordinary. Maybe it's me, you know? I don't know, probably is me, you know? I can't tap and get deep enough into somebody's, you know, consciousness to really help them. So they come to a class a week, a class every 2 weeks. Going to see, what's this movie, Barbie? Probably half the people are at the movie Barbie right now. Not in meditation class. Does anyone else have a question?
Stuart, can you talk about the importance of myself making the choice? No one's going to do that for me. What is that choice?
Derek, that is the key to a spiritual life. Choosing whatever you have to do to get it. And that is not, I can't do that for you. I can provide a lot of energy. I'm the gasoline station, you know? You come, you fill up your tanks, but the choice, you know, to make a commitment to do what you have to do to have a spiritual life, it's completely up to you. I made those choices years ago, you know? I mean, you know, moving into Rudy's house, you know, I mean, spending over a year without even having a place to sleep at night. It was my choice. I needed to be around my teacher to get what he had to teach me. You know, I could have just gone to Denton, Texas and walked away, say, well, who wants to spend, you know, time in Denton, Texas? I didn't. I stayed there to complete my karma there. It was my choice. I did all these things because I knew they were going to work for me to have a spiritual life, for me to get, you know, every single bit of teachings I could get out of my guru, Rudy. And if I didn't make these kind of choices, I would have never gotten them. And this is complicated because we have family, we have this, we have, you know, all kinds of stuff, you know? So it's very complicated. But ultimately, you know, I don't know, I guess it's just karma that enables you to do certain things in life. But it's one's choice. You see, I can provide an enormous amount of energy. Rudy provided an enormous amount of energy. But then there's the responsibility of the student and what they're going to do with their life and how they live to take that energy inside them so they can grow to become literally a servant of God, a child of God. They can truly develop capacity in themselves to become an enlightened person. That's one's choice. Sometimes it takes 100 lifetimes to make those choices.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I've had to make, I mean, even me doing this at this point of my life, for God's sake, you know, I should be sitting in Florida somewhere, basking in the, well, it's too hot today, you know, but, you know, retired. And here I am, you know, look, I'm not a kid anymore. Doing this is hard work, but it's my choice because I know I need this for a spiritual life. I probably need it more than most of the people that come here. And that's why I do what I do. It's a conscious choice. certainly not getting rich doing this. It's ridiculous. But it is giving me the greatest wealth I can imagine getting, and that is unconditional love, unconditional surrender, becoming a servant of God, going past my ego, my, these basic little needs, what I want to do in life versus what I have to do in life in order to grow spiritually. I'm even writing a book. I'm almost finished with it, thank God, But boy, this is something. I've never written a book like this. It's really something. And it's about Tantra, but I think it has a much deeper element to it. Does anyone else have a question? I mean, look, Jennifer came to New York. She gave up her whole life, everything in Oregon. She came to be here. And what she does here is a total miracle, And she's grown enormously because of it, enormously. Does anyone else have a question they'd like to ask? But meanwhile, we have these classes. I have 7 of these classes a week. Take advantage of them. They're very powerful classes. There's a big group of people here. It's a powerful class. Take advantage of it. Let it work deeply inside you. Let it transform you inside and see what comes. See what comes. Don't take them for granted because, as I say, I'm not getting any younger. I mean, which is kind of a good thing, so don't take them for granted. Really work very deeply in them and then let them build a system inside and see what comes. Don't be afraid to take chances in life. Listen to that voice inside you that is, that is really the voice of God speaking and telling you how you can continue on a path to spiritual enlightenment. And it's going to be different than what I do, different than what Rudy did. But that kind of commitment is very real. Does anyone else have a question? God bless you all. Thank you. Thank you for being in my life. Thank you for attending these classes. Thank you for the commitment you've made to have a spiritual life. Bless you all. And there will be a class on Sunday. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody.
Thank you, Stuart.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Stuart. Good night.
Bye.